Hello and welcome into Main Street Preps this week. This is Russell Venozzi back for another episode. Tyler Palmatier will join us by phone to help us break down the final week of high school basketball in Tennessee. We've got a lot to get to. We're going to interview in just a moment Martin Luther King Jr. Magnet School boys basketball coach Caden Anderson. His team picked up a big win over White County in the Class 3A state quarterfinals on Tuesday. So looking forward to that interview. And then Tyler and I will also run down all kinds of basketball topics. A lot has happened and is happening right now. Of course, the girls tournaments wrapped up last week. The Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards were handed out on Monday. And now the boys Division I state tournament is ongoing down at Murphy Center in Murfreesboro. Before we get to all that, though, I want to remind everybody that this podcast is sponsored by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. All right, let's bring in MLK Magnet boys basketball coach Caden Anderson. He's going to join us by phone now. Caden, how you doing today?
Great. Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Caden, on Tuesday, MLK picked up its first state tournament win since 2005, which was also the last time the program appeared at the Murphy Center at the state tournament. Were you guys nervous at all? Because it seems like they came out and handled their business.
No, not at all, man. We had talked about it yesterday after the tournament game when the reporters were asking questions about you guys kind of came out of nowhere and not much talk about you, but we've known as a coaching staff, this is a special group the entire year. They've known that. They've bought into, our philosophy and what we're trying to teach them. And we talk a lot about being confident and not cocky. And they're very confident. They knew going in that the goal wasn't just to make the state tournament. And I think a lot of high schools kind of feel content when they get there, or even content when they just make that sub-state game. But we've had our mind on one goal, and I don't think there was really many nerves. I just think we didn't shoot it very well in the first half and didn't make many adjustments at halftime. We just trust the process, and fortunately that worked out for us.
Yeah, hey, Caden, this is Tyler. You guys really got on a roll in that game, and it's a lot of fun making these runs, I'm sure, for you guys. And I wrote about this yesterday, and you and I talked about it. Your grandfather Charlie, who you lost to COVID a couple of years ago, and in 2021 was, a Nashville basketball legend, is a name that everybody seemed to know. And he's not here this week, but what do you think he would be the most excited about? Maybe about your game yesterday, the way you played, or just about the whole experience being in Murphy Center this week?
I think he would just be excited about how hard our guys are playing. He kept the game so simple when he was coaching high school, when he was, even in 1991 when they won the junior college championship. Like, yeah, he had some great players, but he still kept the game so simple there. And he always just preached, right, and taught that you've got to play hard. I'm not going to coach effort, and you've got to play defense. So if you're going to be like a day school and you're not going to play defense, but yeah, you're capable of scoring 30, you're probably going to score 5 because you're not going to get any playing time. So he would be excited with just how hard, that our guys are playing. I think that's the best pound on the back I get from fans or, people who come watch us play, just saying, you guys play so hard. And that's awesome because, it's something we don't have to coach. And I think he would just be so proud of how hard these guys are playing, how well they're playing together. You can tell we don't have, any selfish players. It's not about getting your bucket. It's about getting, points for the team. So just how hard we're playing, how selfish we're playing, I think is what he'd be most proud of, and especially just how we're hanging our hat on our defense every night.
And every year during March Madness, it seems like star players emerge from some of those less heralded teams, and really every team, but especially from those teams that maybe weren't as in the spotlight. Those players get their moment in the sun, if you will. Is Simeon Williams that guy from your team? Because he was awesome on Tuesday with 24 points and 16 rebounds.
Sim's special. Yeah, Sim's special. And I think, what makes him special is the person he is off the court. Honestly, he's just a quiet, hard worker, lead by example. He's a competitor, but he's, he's just quiet. He goes about his business the right way. So coachable. He's so coachable. We go 5 out and he's a guard. Yes, sir. We go 4 out and we tell him he's a 5-man. Yes, sir. We tell him to trap, he's trapping. We tell him to protect the goal, he's protecting the goal. So he's really easy to coach. And yeah, he's just a talented kid, man. He's about 6'4", with 6'7" arms length span or whatever. He shot the 3 ball last year at 38%. He's shooting right at 30 this year, so that's dropped some. But he can shoot it, he can dribble it, he can obviously jump out at the gym, and he just plays hard. So he's going to play at the next level. We don't know where yet. We're working through that process together. But kid's definitely definitely capable of playing college basketball. I actually just found out this morning. I didn't know this, but he was at the gym last night about 9:30 with my assistant coach, and that just kind of shows you how locked in he is. I mean, you win the state tournament first round game, quarterfinal game, going on a Final Four. Sure, most guys are going to go home and chill, and if not chill, celebrate. And not only is he not chilling or celebrating, he's at the gym putting in the work. And we had a couple more players actually there with him last night. So and he's a special kid, man, and he's been stepping up the last few weeks, and we're going to have that from him for 2 more games.
What has the experience been like for these players, Caden? I guess how inexperienced did they look back in the summer and November compared to now? Has there just been a lot of growth in terms of basketball IQ and fundamentals, stuff like that?
I think one of our sophomore guards, Avery Kaz, I think he said it best yesterday in the post-game press conference. They were asking about what the coaches are teaching you guys, this and that, what makes you guys peak at the right time. And he mentioned now, just as a coaching staff, we prioritize what we think is important as coaches to teach these guys, and we stick with that. Avery just mentioned how every day they're hitting with the same stuff, right? Shorten your pass, eliminate turnovers, make the easy pass, make the good play, not the pretty play. And so I think that's helped this team peak at the right time. And then, yeah, I think just, growing and developing as individual players, but then also having the same coaching staff intact for the last couple of years with my assistants. Last year we won district championship, won the region championship, and then we got our butts kicked in sub-state, and we only lost 1 senior. So, again, we knew as a team and as a coaching staff that we had a pretty bright season in front of us, but we also knew we had a lot of work cut out for us. And, yeah, I think they're just, they're peaking at the right time, and all the credit to the players for buying in, because when they're coachable and they listen, they don't come back or question what we're asking them to do, it makes our jobs a lot easier. And hopefully it makes their jobs a lot easier as well.
Yeah, you mentioned last season sort of the positive momentum that was built there with the district and the region championships, then also the sectional appearance. I was there, I believe, during the district championship when you guys beat Maplewood, or maybe that was the region. It was one of those two. And I mean, the team was just absolutely thrilled afterwards. It seemed like it was kind of a confidence builder for the team to have that success last season. How did that sort of set the stage for what's happening now?
I think you're right, man. I think, I think you play your whole season to try to reach your full potential and get better. But, that's just the way sports work. You kind of remember who won the championships. You don't remember who had the best regular season or who had the most talented team. So that was the first district championship we had won since 19. And just the way we even won that game against Maplewood, we were down double digits with just a few minutes left and ended up coming back and beating them. And I think that win kind of, proved to our guys, not that they didn't believe beforehand, but at that point they realized, like, all right, hey, we can win some championships. And then we went on to win the region. And then again, Jackson Southside came in here and stomped us, and we were starting 2 freshmen and a sophomore and a junior and a senior, and they were starting 5 seniors. So we were, quite honestly, we were just outmatched, and we gave a fight, but we were just outmatched last year. So I think that success certainly gave us a jolt of confidence. And then again, going into this year, just to be quite honest with you, I was telling my assistants this after the game. Nobody wants to lose, but that district championship loss to Hillwood, I know for me as a coach, was the best thing that happened for us, because it kind of woke me up to get back to the basics. I think we almost to an extent over-prepared them, over-scouted, overemphasized this or that, and we just got back to playing team defense, playing team basketball. So that might have been the best thing for us this year, was losing that district championship game, just to kind of, again, jolt us going in the right direction.
Going back to something you said earlier, Caden, how hard you guys play. That is 100% right. I think looking back, that is probably the thing that stuck out about you guys the most. And I think it's because I was so impressed with the rebounding advantage you had yesterday, 48-18. That is massive. Are you guys, is that your reputation? I mean, have you been wiping teams out on the glass all year?
Simeon Williams helps. But yeah, we have, something that we've instilled in this team. There's some years I've coached where we shoot the ball and either based on our athleticism or the opponent's scouting report, we'll shoot a three and we'll send three guys back. Well, we're to the point this year where when we shoot the ball, we're sending everybody to the glass except the shooter. I think we're athletic enough. I think we're playing hard enough where if we, if that's hurting us or if they're getting some long rebounds, we're quick enough to still get back and not give up anything easy in transition. But yeah, man, just the effort thing. I think it starts with us as coaches, just letting them know, at all points in the season. When our season ends this year, we'll get going again in April, May, and summer off season. We're not going to coach effort. And we got a couple guys who are on this team who could be helping us, and they're not even seeing the floor. We're not going to coach effort. We'll try to inspire you. We'll try to encourage you and motivate you and do our best. But at the end of the day, if you don't want it, then why are we going to go out of our way to make you want it? So I think the guys know that, right? We've got 8 guys who are getting playing time right now, and if anybody's lacking effort, it's a quick sub. And so I think effort and rebounding those kind of go hand in hand, right? Because it's easy to just watch your teammates shoot the ball and everybody just kind of stand there. It's easy to be on defense, and when they shoot the ball, just stand there. So it takes effort to rebound, and it's something you just kind of got to buy into, which fortunately I think that they have.
So next up is Fulton High School from Knoxville in the semifinals on Thursday afternoon. Caden, from what you've seen so far, what do you make of that matchup? And kind of a two-part question here. What does today's quote-unquote off day look like for you guys as you're preparing for that game?
No off days, man. Got my coaches with me right here, and we got practice. We got practice at 12, so most of the guys are already here getting some shots up. So we'll practice for a couple of hours, watch some film. Fulton, man, it's going to be a dogfight. They're a basketball team. They've got a great program. Coach has been there for a while, and he's a legend in the east part of town, and it's going to be an absolute dogfight. We've got to just, I think the best thing we've got going for us is, as coaches and I have been talking and discussing the game plan and, what we're going to do today, we're not going to take much, man. We're going to keep being us. We're going to play our game. We're going to defend, reach the ball, take a shot. We don't have to change what we're doing. And kind of what we're at on win or lose, we're going to go down our game. But they're a team. They've got a athlete. They've got a boy that regard just poor food. But again, a lot of teams that we play, I don't think they see defense like we play. So hopefully that'll hinder them or kind of get them out of their comfort zone, speed them up a little bit, and then again, like you mentioned, we've got to continue owning the boards, and if we do that, I think we'll have a good shot.
Last thing, Caden, and then we'll let you get on your way. But talk to your dad, Chuck, yesterday. He said, I don't know if he's joking, but he said you were the one that forced him up to drive he and your mom from Florida so that he could keep your guys' postseason book. Is that true, and what's it been like having him over there?
Yeah, man, Dad, Dad's not as helpful as Granddad was. I'm not sure why. He's got that kind of personality of just, hey, I'll cheer you on. I'll watch it on NFHS, but I'm living on, I'm at the beach. Dad's like a big, he's like a 1-year-old. So I had to, man. I had to, come on, man. You got to come up for this. I need your help, but I've got to pry help out of him. I had to, make him come to my house last night and watch film with me. Granddad was a little more helpful. I'm not sure why, but Dad's still helpful. He's always giving me feedback. He's hard on me, just like Granddad was, and in terms of, man, your team's still doing this. You better fix that. You better fix that. But he's also great at just reminding me to keep things simple, right? You keep the game simple. He doesn't overcomplicate things, and he just tries to always remind me to do the same.
Yeah, the beach will be there in April, May, June, and so on. But March basketball only lasts so long, so I'm glad your dad was able to make the trip and be here for this.
Hey, not a doubt about it. And he's he's such a beach guy. He had my wife. She's happy for us. But even when we won Sub-State and we won, she'd already told me if we lost Tuesday, we're going to the beach today. And so I think she's a little torn too. I think they're both ready to go to the beach. So they're kind of in that predicament of, yeah, we got to cheer for the MLK. We also want to get to the beach. And I'm just like, come on, it's like 50 degrees at the beach right now. Just hold off. The beach can wait.
That's right. Well, Caden, we appreciate all your time today in between games here this week, and good luck on Thursday as you guys take on Fulton. We're looking forward to seeing how that one shakes out.
All right, guys. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Caden.
That has been MLK Magnet boys basketball coach Caden Anderson. We are going to take a break now and then come back with some basketball talk, so stick around.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try.
There aren't any cops around. I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Rub your hands, sir. Where you are right now?
As I mentioned at the top of the show, basketball season finally coming to a close here with a bang. A lot of national area teams still in the running on the boys' side. But Tyler, it was a busy week over the past week or so. I mean, it's just been busy for several weeks actually. But the girls' state championships were handed out in Division One, and then the Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards were also given out on Monday. You were at both of those girls' state tournament finals that involved mid-state teams on Saturday. That's Livingston Academy in 3A and Wayne County in Class 1A, but both fell short. And otherwise, a pretty quiet week for the national area teams.
Yeah, you kind of wonder where were the national area teams. First of all, they're just. Of course, you had Green Hill in there, and I'm not trying to limit the teams that are still kind of in Middle Tennessee that were there. More just the immediate national area just did not have a whole lot of representation. So you wonder what kind of talents or youth are on those teams. Will next year be the same? I don't know. Those are just, you kind of wonder. It just seemed a little empty. It wasn't a whole lot of national flavor there. But yeah, we were keeping tabs during the championship on Livingston Academy and Wayne County. Obviously, those teams were not able to win titles, but I was really impressed with Livingston Academy with Ellie Butler. That was a tough matchup there for them. But I thought the way she drove the ball and stayed aggressive there early, I thought that game could have gotten that one maybe could have gotten rougher than it was. And then with Wayne County, with Blair Bogus, she was looked every bit deserving of the Miss Basketball Award she took home this week. So, and of course, Wayne County in the season with just one loss. I mean, to me, that's such a cool thing, a basketball team getting it to the end of the year and having a chance to go unbeaten. That's so hard to do. There was not a ton of action for us in the national area last week, but certainly still some good stories out there. Livingston and Wayne County, both their coaches are grads of those schools who kind of brought the program out of the respective lulls they were in. So those are kind of the classic storylines that you love to see at a state tournament.
Yeah, you've got to love when you've got roots planted. There's kind of a different level of care that goes into that. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's just different when it's your hometown school. So good for them for getting there, and both those teams have some young players coming back too. So it'll be interesting to see if they can maybe try to get back there and win it next year. But as far as the Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards, Tyler, you were also there for that on Monday. That was actually a pretty good haul for the Nashville area. And you had East Nashville's Jalen Jones and Lebanon's Jared Hall as first-time winners for their schools. Isaiah West was right there with them too, capping off his memorable career with a Mr. Basketball Award in Division II Single A. And those three guys, Jones, West, and Hall, really have been, the big names of this class from the Nashville area. So good to see all three of them kind of make the most of their senior years and close it out with awards. And then on the girls' side, you also had Angelica Velez from Webb School take the Division II Single A Girls Award, and then Jelani Cambridge, of course, in Division II Double A. That was her third straight award in a row. So she has a chance for a four-peat next year as a senior. And then Blair Bogus from Wayne County, also in Class 1A. So she was part of that runner-up Wayne County team. Tyler, what were some takeaways you had from that ceremony and how those awards kind of shook out?
I thought maybe the biggest, most obvious pick of the whole night was Jelani Cambridge from Ensworth. She's going to win everything. Yeah, here in the next couple of years. Also brought home the Gatorade Award, and girls basketball will definitely have a chance to maybe even be that National Player of the Year. She's the top-ranked recruit in 2024, obviously. So that wasn't a big surprise. I thought it was really cool about Jared Hall and Jalen Jones being the guys to win it for East and Lebanon, the guys who've been at those schools and definitely could have gone just almost any other prep school in the area that they wanted. That was kind of a connection I made in my story. So I thought that was neat for them in those communities. And you mentioned all the three guys that won it with Isaiah West. That'd be a really good starting three. Add a couple more guys to that starting five, and you've got a darn good team. I felt for Eddie Ricks III because I think he's a deserving award winner. I think some of these awards, if somebody's got to win them, but I don't think that necessarily means that the other guy or girl didn't deserve it. I mean, and a great example here is let's look at Tyler Tanner. A lot of from Brentwood Academy, he was up for the Mr. Basketball Award in D2 Double A. Doesn't win it, and Lucas Walls wins it. That's a team that they beat in the finals. Of course, that doesn't matter. It's not a postseason award. But point being, Tanner doesn't win. People are kind of upset about that. But today, Tanner is named the Gatorade Tennessee Boys Basketball Player of the Year. So sometimes the actual award, I don't think means as much as what people think. So I'm just saying I think Eddie Ricks is as deserving as anybody. And had he won, I think you could have made a case for him for sure. So, it was cool to see so much of Nashville represented. That was definitely some Nashville flair in the Murphy Center on Monday.
Well, hey, you make a great point too about the prep schools, and that was in your story about Jalen Jones and Jared Hall. But for the Nashville area to keep Jones, Hall, West, and Ricks all here for their senior years is kind of an accomplishment within itself. Because in previous seasons, especially recently, we've hemorrhaged some of the best basketball talent to prep schools in other areas. Braden Moore transferred out to California from CPA. Sky Clark, transferred to, I believe, Montverde in Florida. And that's really just continued a trend that's been going for the last really couple decades, is a lot of the best senior and junior basketball players go off to prep schools. Oak Hill is another one that's had a number of Nashville area guys go through there up in Virginia. So, great for us that we got to witness kind of this high level of talent here, and all these guys stuck around, and hopefully all the juniors, on the girls side and the boys side stick around too, just kind of selfishly because it's great to see that local talent here. Tyler, let's wrap it up here with some boys Division I tournament discussion that's ongoing right now as we record. We of course talked about MLK with Caden at pretty great length, but Hillsborough also got a big win yesterday.
Yeah, Hillsborough, Sevier County kind of looked like it was in over its head a little bit. I think that was a team that kind of squeaked into the field, and maybe one that people would say didn't expect to get here, or whatever. A team that played it over its head and made it. But then just ran into a team that I think it's pretty seasoned, even though it hadn't been to the state tournament in a while. None of those players for Hillsborough have been. So it was cool to see them Hillsborough get to this tournament, win, and move on, especially after a tough 2 years. You know, they had a great team in 2020, and of course the tournament doesn't get played, and then the next couple of years are kind of all messed up just with the developmental part of what Metro went through playing just 7 basketball games in 2021. Get my ears mixed up. So it really neat to see them win. Arnaz Anderson, they're kind of their third scorer, led them in points. You got to think they're going to need a big performance against Memphis Overton. That's a pretty good team, but you've got to wonder if Hillsborough can get something from all three of it. You know, top 3 scorers: Trey Johnson, Cortez Graham, and Anderson. I think that's a team that's good enough to advance.
And then on Thursday, we've got Pearl Cone and, well, hold on. Before I get to that, I want to mention quickly here, a final score from the Independence Blackman game. Independence pretty much rolled in that one, 66-34. The Blaze finished their season at 21-12. Jet Montgomery with 24 points, Tylen Lewis with 12, and Matthew Witt with 11 for Independence. So Independence is moving on one step closer to a potential Hillsborough Independence championship game there in Class 4A. But of course, both teams are going to have to get through great opponents in the semifinals to get there. But lastly, Tyler, Thursday, of course, MLK will play its semifinal game, but you've also got Pearl Cone and Fairview playing in the quarterfinals. And if they both win, they could meet up in the semifinals on Friday.
Yeah, that's an interesting your thought there. Pearl Cone, if you're a transitive property person, by beating East Nashville, the defending champion and kind of the favorite, yeah, maybe Pearl Cone's the favorite. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe that, but somebody could make that case. So you got one team that is kind of title driven, and Fairview hasn't. That's a program that has never been. I was talking to our colleague Chip Cirillo last night about that, and it's been 66 years since the school is open and hasn't been to a state tournament. The girls haven't been either, so. You got to think Fairview is going to bring one of those classic huge crowds to Murphy Center that's just going to kind of invade the whole place. That's a really neat thing for the Yellow Jackets, and especially Coach Trey McCoy, who went to Fairview. So that's a really neat story too. I think we're going to see a lot of Fairview fans this week. That school, that hasn't always been Fairview either. I mean, it opened a long time ago, but it started as Williamson West, I think is what Chip told me. He was kind of educating me on it last night. So it's fun to think back at teams that have never been and just think, how long has it been around? I mean, they haven't had anything to celebrate in a long time. All these other teams I think we're talking about, the exception of maybe Independence, which has been, Russell, has Independence been in the state tournament once? I can't remember. I feel like
yes, they've been once. Outside of this one
time. Yeah. So in a newish school. So really Fairview is kind of the only team that I think we have this week that's just busted a long drought. So that always interests me. I think that's fun. And they show up at the gym with a different energy. So that'll be cool to see for sure. And then, we got a lot going on here from moving forward. Of course we were going to have Independence or Blackman anyways, but all of a sudden a lot of Nashville stuff going on up in Murfreesboro for the next couple of days.
Yeah, you love to see it. Unfortunately, Davidson County and Williamson County are on spring break, but hopefully as the week goes on and if these teams keep advancing, some people are able to come back from their trips early or make some alternative plans because like Caden was saying, the pull of the beach is pretty strong apparently for some, but you got to think with Fairview and MLK, Pearl Cone, Hillsborough, Independence, if all these teams keep winning, that fans are going to want to be there to see their teams play on the biggest stage. So anyways, we will have full coverage of all of these teams on mainstreetpreps.com throughout the week. So be sure to stay tuned to that. And before we get out of here, I want to remind everybody this podcast is sponsored by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. For Tyler Palmatier, I'm Russell Venozzi. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time on Main Street Preps This Week.